Hi, welcome to Life with Jacqui Krystal. I am excited today to be interviewing Trudy, who's here with me. Trudy is a neighbour, but someone who I find incredibly fascinating for her own spiritual experiences. Okay, so launch away.
First question. I have noticed this.
Yep.
I don't know if other people have, but I've definitely noticed this. Why is the emotional state of the world changing?
We are in a big evolution responsiveness now. We used to live in more of a masculine, so there's masculine and feminine. I know that you would have a bit of understanding of this, not everyone will, so I'll just repeat it. Masculine premises are willful, controlling, headstrong, leadership kind of premises. Feminine is allowance, acceptance, surrender. So our world now is grappling with moving from the masculine premise into the feminine premise as a mass. Most people heard of the 2012 phenomena. We're in a cycle at the moment, and if you don't, then you can look up 2012, just Google it. The Mayan prophecies predicted there will be major change, but their calendar actually went more in accordance with 2011. So from 2011 to 2017 roughly, we're given a huge opportunity to grow exponentially. What will happen is some people will surrender to that. There will still be chaos. There has to be chaos in any change point. It's like a pendulum. A pendulum doesn't stop. It has a continual motion in order for it to try and even calibrate itself. So we're always going to swing from one to the next. But if we're looking at that cycle, that world cycle, we've spent a whole heap of time up in this, and we're just coming back here, and we're going to swing to the other side to experience things. I mean, again, our job here on the earth plane is to experience, is the human experience. So the reason that we feel, or people who are aware would feel that there are big changes going on, is because, well, quite frankly, there is. But it's designed for where does your choice sit in the paradigm, and it's asking us to surrender. It's asking us to get into the feminine. So, and look, you'll see the earth herself, Nepal with the earthquakes, Vanuatu, was it Vanuatu with the floods? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So we're getting earth chaos as well. That has come from, let's call it an awakening code. Where there is chaos, where there is pain, there becomes resolution, becomes human consciousness that gets lifted. Say, for example, there's a very selfish person in the earthquake, yeah, and they normally wouldn't help a single person. They wouldn't. They're just my life, selfishness, da da da. Possibly very money oriented. I'm making this up, by the way, or whatever it is, materialistic, whatever it's going to be. That person is given an opportunity when they see chaos to attend to life differently. That in that moment they could melt any hardness that might be sitting in the heart that obstructs them from getting deep into feeling, that gets them into compassion state. And so they have opportunity. Perhaps they save a person's life. Imagine the impact just on that one person. If you have that at a large level, if you have that at global or community or country level, that awakens a lot of people to new opportunity. So it has to happen right now. Humanity's been fairly self-destructive for a period of time, a long period of time, and self-destructive in the sense of out for self, out for power, out for control. We've been in the masculine. There's been nothing wrong with that. We've slaughtered and we've hurt, and we like all of that's happened. However, we're awakening now to a next level of evolution. That was correct at that point of evolution in our planet. If we're to live at a cosmic level, we're probably quite primitive, to other energies. other awareness levels. So we're just getting consistent with a next step. You still can't judge that good or bad. There's going to be good and bad if you're going to judge it in every single situation. It's literally just polarity or contrast. And it's through contrast, again, as mentioned before, pleasure, pain, there's a contrast there that we evolve. We can't do it with just pleasure, we can't do it with just pain, we have to evolve. But for the most part, we evolve more rapidly through pain because no one wants to sit in it, no one wants to be in it.
Sure.
So yes, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Excellent.
We have been having a lot of negativity, a lot of anger.
Yes.
But you do see the occurrences nowadays, a lot more compassion and nurturing. So maybe that's the change.
It is. And beauty is seen through that lens. Like when you see, but we are having, this is the compassion coming forward. Yeah. I think what's happening as well, we're getting more bonded. Communities need to occur again at some level. We need to know that we can't do it just on our own. Yeah. I've been quite an independent person, and particularly last year when I had quite a stripping year for me, through an injury, I had to learn how to ask people for help. And I hadn't recognised how hard that actually is to do, to feel so vulnerable, to feel exposed and incapable. But that was evidently necessary for my evolution. And yes, from that I get better perspective, and I realise how loved and supported I was. Not that I hadn't realised that before, but I hadn't felt it the same way. And that's what's happening through chaos. It's being felt at a different level. And if you consider some of the theories about the life unseen, spiritual realms, it's about the emotions. In the spiritual realm, it was explained to me actually via a quite pronounced psychic medium, someone who's had a lot of recognition. And she said that there was like a level, if you can have it, like a ceiling. Yeah. Above that level, you don't feel emotions the same way that you feel emotions on the earth plane. So the spiritual realm even has an awareness, has an understanding of potentially, of emotions, but it's here on the earth plane that we get to witness it, that we feel it. So really our earth experience is not just about evolution and the existence, it is about the emotional state and integrating in that. My perspective on that, though, is at this point in our evolution, that's what is correct. Because I apply again the layers of the aura, the 7 layers of the aura. And I said before that we have the 3, the gases, the liquids, the solids, the physical, the integrated, and another 3. Now we have a mental, emotional, and a spiritual body. So I believe that we're also working through emotions here now, but we may in another existence or another time frame down the track be more focused on the mental aspect or the spiritual aspect. I know we're getting a combination of all of them, but I'm talking about the overall focus. Anyway, our supposed difference is that we do have the emotions here to deal with that spiritually you don't. Yeah. Going forward.
Okay, why do people come into our lives? They make a big emotional impact, and then they're gone as quickly as they can.
We've almost touched on that last, haven't we? That question almost in the last side of things, because we're to experience it. Yeah. And it's also to awaken us. Again, how do we learn? How do we grow? How do we evolve? The emotion may have been a powerful love emotion, or it may have been an intense dislike or hate emotion. In some ways, we've been taught that we're meant to grieve only when it's one, not the other. We celebrate when it's a hate one and you get reprieved of that. And we are sad when it's the love one and we get that taken away. So emotions are there for us to understand at some level what we may not otherwise. And it's what we attach to an experience emotionally that actually creates our other experiences. Mm-hmm. For example, if you were hating an experience and you're out of it, again, you feel a joy, a relief, whatever it would be. In a loved one, we want to elongate it. So it's actually what we're attaching to a process. If we were to step back from that, say we were hating it, but we stopped and said, I don't hate this, I look for the lesson in this. Mm-hmm. I seek to understand what this emotion and situation emotionally is bringing me. We then develop peace within that state. We can find the same level of peace if in the love situation, because even though love feels good, and it should definitely be witnessed, perhaps it shouldn't be held the way that a lot of times we do. Perhaps then it would less affect us when it does transform, and that's all it is. We're just transmuting and transforming. We have to have this again for our growth. We become stagnant elsewise. And there are people who choose to be stagnant. Sometimes their emotions become very twisted and bitter and not a pleasant place to live in. I contextualize that to the heaven and earth principles. You know, heaven and earth for me, everything is heavenly in aspect. Emotionally, I ask my emotions to train under a heavenly aspect rather than a hellish one. People understand that perhaps for your own journey, like I want to think more positively rather than negatively. Because negatively, if you focus on negative, you get more negative. You focus on positive, you get more positive. Does it always rain? No, it doesn't. And there's still going to be positive and there'll be negative within the positive, you know, and vice versa. But it's about how do we wish to work with emotions this lifetime. Do you wish to be masterful of emotions? In which case, go to the depths of you and explore that. Ask for more emotional responses to come forward for your learning. Mm-hmm. Be careful what you wish for, because they will come. Ask for less, and they'll say, but you're resistant to what your soul is asking of you in truth. Because your soul wants to go from, say, A to B, yeah? Or let's make it A to Q, okay? Give it some extra letters in there. And if you're going, but I like B, I want to stay at B, I want to stay at B, then you're not being authentic to yourself. And your soul will bring forth lessons to bring you past that resistance. Some of them will be quite harsh. For me, my health system was, I had chronic fatigue and many things have actually happened in my health system. It's been my barometer to what my authentic self is asking of me. Because I've been very well trained this earth existence, and I'm a good girl, you know, by training. So because I want goodness in this world, I look to create from that. But has that been authentic in my process? No. I had to learn many times, or many whacks, in order to find out more of who my authentic self is. And that's not necessarily a good girl, but it's a girl who is true to self. And that's more important. My health strengthens when I get into that state. Yeah. So our emotions are also bringing us closer to an understanding of our true self, which is soul connected.
Yeah.
Explains or not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, no, it's good. Thank you.
Pleasure. Do you have other things you want me to?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, please feel free if you wish.
We've touched on most of the others though.
Okay.
That's all I haven't.
Is it all good? Okay, that's fine. We can leave it there, or we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Trudy, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate your time, your energy, and the beauty of your questions. You have fantastic questions. Thank you very much, everyone, for staying with us, and I'm sure that you've got value of some description, be it for your life path or for a path of someone around you. And please stay tuned for next round of Life with Jacqui Krystal. Thank you.